Welcome to another episode of the One-on-One podcast. My name is Josh Katz. I am one of the hosts of this lovely podcast, and I am joined by Kathy Baker. Kathy, how are you today?
Hey, I'm great. How are you, Josh?
I'm good. And then we are also always joined by Ryan, our producer extraordinaire who does it all. And I said this in one of our earlier episodes. Ryan's getting married soon. And so I kind of want to put him on the spot because what we like to do at the beginning of these episodes is we like to do just useless banter. And so I thought I would really put Ryan on the spot on this one.
It's not what we talked about before we hit record.
So Ryan, what do you think is most going to change in your life after you have a ring on your finger?
I think if anybody knows me, I have a large enough collection of footwear.
Yeah.
Especially that I've acquired after my Achilles injury. I don't know why. I got hurt last year.
You can only wear one.
And I bought a lot more shoes for some reason. So I think that'll be the biggest change, having to figure out how to
not buy so many shoes.
No. Oh, I guess, yeah, that too. But just to coexist in terms of
I was going to say, I'm not hearing shoes. I'm hearing how to share the closet.
Yeah. I think that's
totally different.
No, that's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I see Ryan every week, and every week it's a new pair of shoes on his feet. It's actually really hard to keep up with. Well, we have a very wonderful guest today. He's joined us before, and we had a conversation about AI. I mean, AI has been around for a while, but it was right at the peak of when kind of, I would say, like, the whole world started talking. It was, ChatGPT was really starting to get used, and the whole world and a lot of corporate America was starting to see, like, okay, what is this technology and how is it going to change basically everything? So we have brought back Scott Bergmann to discuss that and more. Scott is one of our coaches at ONE University. So Kathy knows him a lot better than I do. But without further ado, Scott, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're good. We are excited to chat. We recently got to see your One Talk at Summit, which was wonderful. So we kind of wanted to discuss not only a little bit of that, but then also just you're one of our newest coaches. And so we really want to talk about the philosophy of coaching, how influential it can be on a person's business, but also how particular it is for individual people. So before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty of AI, maybe let's kind of talk about just the overall aspect of coaching from your perspective.
Absolutely. That's a great question. When I got into real estate, like most, it kind of felt like a free for all. You had this vision of what the TV told you real estate was, and when you get into it, you realize, okay, there's a lot I got to figure out on my own. And if you're blessed to obviously come to the greatest brand in the world, you have great mentors and great leadership and broker owners. But let's be honest, sometimes owners and brokers can get a little bit busy. And I wouldn't even have thought of coaching in the beginning when I got into real estate. And over time, I remember thinking to myself, there's got to be people out there that I could pay and or just reach out to and get help on some of these small things. So my first step was taking a look at coaching for myself. Mm-hmm. And I firmly believe in coaching, coaches getting coaching. And so, I was an athlete growing up, and I thought about when I performed my best and I had a coach next to me, and in other careers, you kind of get assigned a mentor or a leader or a coach. But in real estate, especially being new agents or seasoned agents getting stuck in a rut, you don't think of reaching out and trying to find a coach because sometimes you don't even think you need one. So from my point of view, I firmly believe that just in life in general, not just real estate, having a coach or someone next to you is pretty pivotal. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what's so interesting is we've just experienced the Super Bowl, and we look at the NFL this past year, and to me, it's been, especially with coaching staffs and quarterbacks, right? It's been, I remember when he was offensive coordinator there, or he was defensive coordinator there. And it's so fascinating to me to see how differently professional athletes perform under a different coach.
Yeah,
I mean, we look at they're either paralyzed or they're motivated. And I think that crosses over into every professional. It's getting that match. It's making sure that the energy is equal. It's making sure that you're inspired and not stepped on, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of benefits to the amazing coaches that were at Summit is how well-rounded everyone was. I mean, there was a presentation on anything you could think of for your business. And not only just presentation, now the idea of having specific coaches tailored towards what you want out of your business, be it commercial or referrals and pop buys. I mean, what was cool about Summit was being able to kind of make your way around and realize, holy cow, we have amazing coaches out there that are still doing amazing work in their business and are willing to sit down and tell me how to do that. I don't know how else I'd want to scale than a roadmap. What about you?
I think that's a really good point. And Scott, you brought up a really good point before, and I wanted to ask you about this. It's the almost the vulnerability of needing a coach, but not. Maybe you don't know that you need one, or you're too afraid to ask, or there's pride or whatever. How do you, how does one person, I know it's different for everybody, but how does one person like kind of conquer that?
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that I figured out really early on in life, and remember, and I just remind everyone, my background isn't real estate, it's social work. I spent 10 years in the social work industry. And my job was to help coach and guide people in very, very unfortunate circumstances to first and foremost, and I think this is truly what people have as a superpower. I mean, the really, really influential individuals is the ability to believe in other people before they do.
Sure.
And what I found at a young age in working with parents, going through unforeseen circumstances with their kids was these same parents were the ones that nobody believed in. And I learned when I was 22 years old, the best decision I could ever make in another human being is to not just believe in them, but to let them know that I do. And so first and foremost, I think if you're in a position in your career, in your real estate career, where you're lacking maybe just a little bit of belief in those yearly goals, or a little bit of belief in the market, or you're missing I promise you, step one is knowing that there's a coach out there within this realm, within Realty One, that absolutely already believes in you. Your job is just to kind of get in front of them. So, I think the superpower to all great coaches, and I know Kathy has this, and I've experienced this, is a belief in someone else, maybe sometimes before they believe in themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a really good answer. I mean, to use the sports analogy that we always use, your player has the skill, like they have the skill to do whatever it is they're trying to do. Sometimes they just need a little inspiration, a little kick in the pants. And that's where the coach comes into play, and to your point, yes, Kathy is 100% that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, she is. And she's fantastic at it. Love her for it.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, Kathy, even when we started, like that was kind of our idea, right? For this podcast was, I mean, do not have a real estate background. I obviously have worked for this company for a number of years, but it was Kathy's just this ultimate coach, inspirational person that you learn so much from, just from how she goes about life,
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, actually, Kathy, we're going to just finish this whole episode just praising you. So
just sit back, just sit back.
Yeah.
Listen to this coaching quote. I just found this the other day. One of the best things I have heard from a coach is, my job is to find someone better than you. Your job is to make sure I can't.
Ooh, that
might sound harsh, but it's true on most levels in life.
I love that. I love that for multiple reasons. I also believe that when you hit discontent in life, be it personal discontent, frustration, if you will, business, it doesn't matter. I honestly believe that discontent comes when one thing and one thing only happens for all human beings. I believe that frustration comes from when your belief in your potential and your current reality are not aligned. I'll give you a couple examples. We all know people in the real estate industry, or maybe friends and families in their own personal lives, that aren't are achieving at a low level and have a low level in their belief. And we sit back and we wonder to ourselves, how could you go about your day not believing in yourself, not doing much, and be happy with it? Well, think about this. They have a low belief in their potential and their current reality is low. Why would they be unhappy? And then you have, on the far right, you've got those high achievers that we watch from afar on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and they look like they're achieving at this high level, and they have a high belief in themselves, and they seem very, very happy. And then you have 96% of the rest of the population where they're in that middle ground between their belief in their potential and their current reality being out of alignment. Now, here's what's so powerful about that, and where coaches really come into play. If we really break that down, if it simply comes from your belief in your potential and your current reality being out of touch or out of alignment, it now becomes two choices. The two choices are lower your belief in your potential or raise your current reality. And the great news is for almost all agents, listen to this, because you're just taking the time to listen to a podcast to better yourself. I can almost guarantee you're in that realm where you want to raise your current reality to that maximum potential. A coach is a good coach. There's a lot of business coaches out there. A true coach, their goal has everything to do with your potential, and potential is individual. So I think if you've got that feeling in your gut, in your heart, that you've got some distance between what you could achieve, what you believe, what your belief in yourself, that you need to jump on coaching ASAP, because the strong coach, a really good coach, will be able to help you peel that back and help you identify exactly what their belief in your potential is, and help you understand and get to that level. So, that's number one, is figuring out someone's true potential, and then next is guiding them to it.
Do you have a specific person, or I've asked this question to some of our other people that have been on, a specific person, whether it's a parent, a mentor, a sibling, like who? I firmly believe in the philosophy of paying it forward. And so, was there someone in your life that has helped you turn into the coach that you are now today?
I love this question because it's never one someone.
Sure.
In the military, when I was going through, I was an officer in the Army National Guard, and when you get to experience leadership, you get to see good leaders and not so good leaders.
Yeah.
And what I learned very quickly, that there's lessons in both. There's a few. I had a few really. I had one really, really great commander in the military that had such an impact, and we derived such a strong relationship because the conversation wasn't just about the military. It wasn't just about business. It was about me as a person and what I truly wanted out of my career, out of my life, and what mattered to me. And in someone in leadership or coaching, taking the time to care about that and find out, forced me, one, to figure out those answers myself, and then start shaping my daily habits, my routines, my goals around what really mattered. And so I had a few really great commanders over the years. And what I love about this brand is, as I get blessed enough to connect with leaders across the nation, providing workshops on AI or business workshops in Pennsylvania, Des Moines, we got one in Chicago coming up, is the leaders that we have in this brokerage are phenomenal. And what's exciting about that is great leaders create more great leaders. I think that all coaches do a great job at extracting from both the good leaders and not so good leaders in life, their methodology. Now, I can tell you where most coaches, I feel, go downhill. There's a lot of blanket programs out there, guys. There's a lot of blanket real estate coaching programs. And I've been through some coaches in that fashion that have the plan that works for 98% of the demographic, when in actuality, 98% of our industry doesn't do it anyways. You feel like you're in a box, you feel like you're in a number. And when I lean into coaching, my first initial coaching consultation, I promise we'll talk about real estate for maybe 15 minutes, but that's not really why I'm there. I want to know more about you, like what drives you, what motivates you, what are we really doing this for? Because real estate we can talk through, and I promise you we can scale. But if I don't know who you are, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a gal, and she was having a hard time balancing how she would figure out what to do with the art business and what to do with the real estate business, because she had passion for both, and you got to love that.
Sure.
After 30 minutes, we had a great conversation about taking her art business, building that into quarterly events to invite people to check out her art and potentially purchase her art. And those were her client events. So now anytime that she makes a contact with somebody, instead of having to be terrified to ask for the next appointment, hey, I have an art gallery coming up in 2 weeks. I'd love to see you there. Is it okay if I send you an invite? So now she's balancing what she loves, both art and real estate. How could I have done that without getting to know her first? So, I firmly believe great coaches help you figure out yourself, and then business gets easier.
Yeah, I think to elaborate on the point I made earlier, it's anyone can learn the business side of real estate. I'm not saying that it's easy, but I'm saying anyone can learn the business side of it. There's another aspect to it, right? It's the ability to work with people. It's the ability to run your own business. It's the ability to learn your own particular market. And so then to your point, you really have to know who you're coaching. So on the subject of coaching, and I do not want to, because I know you and I could really talk for hours. So let's keep this to 5 or 10 minutes. I want to talk, since the last time we have chatted, just the advancement in AI, the advancement in AI in real estate, and just also for like independent contractors in general, people who are entrepreneurs who are creating their own business. What have you seen in terms of the jump in the tech and also just the widespread usage? Because I mean, from my perspective, I've seen a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing growing faster than AI and its application in any industry, let alone in real estate. And so since we last talked, ChatGPT was probably the biggest topic. And to be honest, it's still queen on the block. But I mean, the amount of available AI it's confusing for most. There's so much out there right now, and the market is so inundated with different types of AI for audio, for video, for blogs, for this and for that. And wading through that gets confusing. I think the benefit to it is the advancement in AI now makes it so accessible for agents in our industry that when you think to yourself, how do I resolve this? How can I fix this? The first answer, lovingly, maybe isn't Google right away. Maybe is there an AI solution for what this is in my life? If scripts aren't your thing or doing video isn't your thing, what's the AI solution to help you script out and film and edit, like a platform like Opus Clips to get more video content out there? So the advancement is beyond impressive. And now where I think we're at with it all is everybody's using a little bit of it. It's not just like you either do or don't anymore. It's like you're standing in the where you're at now because you kind of got to use a little bit of it. I think the key is now mastering the AI tools that you have at your disposal, which can literally help you do anything, and getting really, really skilled to perfect those crafts, I guess, and use those software and kind of grow and learn along with it. That's my feelings on kind of the growth recently. But
it's still a tool. It's 100%. Still a tool.
100%. It is not you. I mean, I don't care how far we get with deep fakes and the Tom Cruise lookalike AI platforms out there. They're not going to sit in the living room that is like you can. And I'm grateful for that. So.
Yep. I agree. I think, we've seen, This is actually a secret I've never shared with anybody. So,
Ooh.
because you guys know where I stand on ChatGPT at least. I actually used ChatGPT to write a Christmas card this year.
What?
I wordsmithed it, and I'm not telling you whose Christmas card it was, but I did actually. So I will say, with someone who even has their degree in writing, it's a helpful tool. It really is. I mean, it's
that, but let me tell you what, that's huge for you.
Yeah.
That's
a big step from this last episode.
well, it is,
Yeah.
but it's what I mean is it's a like, and I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for everybody else, but if you have writer's block, if you're not feeling inspired, if you're just, you wake up and it's a Monday and you didn't sleep great on Sunday, use it as an inspiration tool, like use it as a way to get the ball rolling. I mean, it's such a new and fun piece of technology that 99.9% of people are in the same boat as you in terms of like how much they know how to utilize it. So
Ryan, who is this man talking?
I don't know. I tell you, new season, new haircut.
It's 2024.
GPT now.
It's 2024, guys.
Scott, you may have spurred this. You may have inspired
I loved your Christmas card, by the way. Thank you.
That's good.
I love what you just said there. The idea behind using it to provoke thought.
Yeah.
Using it as a soundboard, getting bigger than just those transactional engagements like you would with Google, and asking it to help you think. What are ideas, thoughts, concepts, ways that I'm looking to connect with first-time home buyers? I'll tell you exactly what I did this morning. I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about client gifts. By nature, I am a horrific gift giver, horrible at it. And in knowing that I'm self-aware, I'll own it. I went into ChatGPT and said, I want 12 client gift ideas under $5 that are seasonal to Nebraska. And it gave me amazing under $5. For example, I wouldn't have thought about this. Hand warmers in January. A little hand warmer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I use those. I got a big old box in the garage. A windshield scrapers, seeds for March. I'm not much of a gardener, but the idea behind thinking in ways that you
wouldn't have thought of seeds, No,
not at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Use it to mind map. Get beyond asking it questions. Get to the point where it's helping you think through big picture processes and systems to scale your business. So start asking the challenging questions to AI to really help maximize it and take you a level above where you're currently thinking. But imagine this. Imagine coupling that with coaching.
Yeah.
Where could that take you?
You brought that all back. That was nice.
Yeah. Alley-oop. There you go. But it's the truth. It's the truth. I think if you think about it, what else do you need lovingly besides AI and a great coach?
You're right. You are absolutely right. And to drink the Kool-Aid like I have been for the last 6 years, you get all of that at Realty ONE Group and more.
100%.
Boom.
Well, Scott, seriously, we cannot thank you enough for joining us again. And I know how stoked Kathy and our entire network are to have you as a coach. I know you are like us, where you are constantly just seeking information and knowledge, and those are what make the best coaches, right? Because you're constantly trying to you're thirsty. Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much. And we hope to have you back on soon. Seriously.
My pleasure. The opportunities in this brand, and I'm so thankful for. And yet again, if anybody's just weighing the idea of coaching, do not be afraid to reach out to me directly. I'd love to chat with you. Awesome. You can find me on the marketplace.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. See you again.
Thanks so much.
We thank you for joining us today on another episode of One-on-One, a Realty ONE Group podcast. We are powered by ONE.U and ask if you have suggestions, recommendations, or questions, please email learning@realtyonegroup.com. And remember, pay close attention to the details, listen to understand, not respond, and always be a resource, not a sales pitch.